Have you ever heard about genies? Now what's that? The Arabic word jinn refers to supernatural creatures made out of smokeless fire that can appear in human or animal form. They are thought to have been created from the same primordial ooze from which humans were created. However, they have their own independent spirits. While some believe that there are good genies, there are also evil ones that dwell in ruined places such as caves, derelict buildings, and most notably, abandoned monasteries. One particular place is said to be infested with these evil genies. It's called the Moqattam Hills in Egypt. Here, locals claim to see terrifying shadows lurking about, and to hear disembodied whispers and voices echoing through the caverns. But perhaps the most spine-chilling detail is that some say the jinn will follow you home if you disrespect the land. So let's talk about it. In this video, I will show you the scariest place on earth where genies roam freely. Also, at the end of the video, I will show you some pictures where the jinns make all people look like real Egyptians. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe for updates. Moqattam Hills. The Moqattam Hills are located just south of Cairo, Egypt. For those who do not know about Egypt, it is a country that has a very rich history and culture, but it also has many legends and myths associated with it. In particular, Egypt is known for its beliefs in the supernatural, including the existence of genie spirits that can inhabit certain places. These beliefs have been passed down through generations of Egyptians and have become an integral part of their folklore. The Moqattam Hills are said to be one of these haunted places. According to local legends, the hills are inhabited by a number of genie spirits, also known as Jinn, who are believed to be able to possess people and control their minds. Some say the jinns can even take on physical forms and interact with humans, sometimes appearing as shadowy figures that move through the hills. People who have seen these figures often describe them as being tall and thin, with long flowing robes that cover their faces. Others say the jinns make their presence known through strange sounds and whispers that echo through the hills at night. These whispers are said to be in an unknown language that is not of this world, and they are often accompanied by the sound of footsteps or other worldly noises that cannot be explained. There are also legends of the Moqattam Hills that tell of people who have gone missing while hiking in the area. Some say that the genies have taken them away as sacrifices or simply to torment them for their own amusement. Whatever the case may be, these stories serve as a warning to those who would dare to enter the hills after dark. The Moqattam Hills are a popular tourist destination during the day, but it is very rare to find anyone there after sunset. Those who do venture into the hills after dark do so at their own risk. As mentioned earlier, there are many legends and myths associated with the Moqattam Hills, but one of the most popular is the story of the monastery. The story goes that there was once a monastery built on the hills that was home to a number of monks. The monks were said to be holy men who had devoted their lives to the service of God, but they soon found that they were not alone in the hills. As soon as they started building the monastery, they began to hear strange sounds and see strange shadows moving about. They tried to ignore it at first, but the disturbances became more frequent and more intense until they could no longer stand it. They abandoned the monastery and fled the hills, leaving it to the Guinness and any other malevolent spirits that might dwell there. And today, the ruins of the monastery are still visible on the hills, and many people believe that the spirits of the monks who died there are still trapped inside. Some people say that the genies will follow you home. This is the most frightening legend of all. According to this legend, if you visit the Moqattam Hills and do not respect the sanctity of the place, the genies will follow you home and cause havoc in your life. They will whisper your name in your ear at night, causing you to feel uneasy and paranoid. You will start seeing shadowy figures lurking at the edge of your vision, and you will hear strange sounds coming from the closet when you wake up in the middle of the night. Your worst fear becomes a reality. To avoid this fate, some people say that you must never take anything from the hill, not even a small rock or leaf. Others say that you should never walk alone in the hills after dark, as you may become lost or worse. Whatever you do, do not run or scream, as this will only agitate the Guinness and make them angrier. If you are followed by a guinea, the best thing to do is to stay calm and walk slowly towards home, facing the direction of the haunting. Do not turn back to face the Jinni, as this may give it the opportunity to grab you and drag you back to the hills. But most importantly, always remember to respect the land and its inhabitants, both living and dead. Do not disturb the graves or take anything that does not belong to you. And above all, never go to the hills alone. Always travel with a group of friends and stay close together. If you do, you may just be able to escape the wrath of the vengeful Jinnis and return home safely. A dangerous warning sign has been placed at the entrance to the cave. The sign reads, "Beware of the Jinnis." However, despite the warning, many people still venture into the cave, probably because they think it's just a scary story. When the explorers finally get inside the cave, they usually come across a cavern filled with countless bats. Although the sight of hundreds of bats hanging from the ceiling is quite eerie, it's not exactly the kind of discovery that makes someone want to leave the cave. Just when they feel safe enough to proceed further into the cave, they begin to notice strange markings on the walls, which are almost certainly ancient hieroglyphics. However, since nobody knows what these hieroglyphics mean, nobody knows what sort of messages they convey. When the adventurers decide to finally leave the cave, things start to get really creepy. That's because the exit of the cave is almost never found by them. It doesn't matter how much they search for it, the exit seems to evade them at every turn. Even if they break through a wall in frustration, they only seem to find themselves in another cavern. At this point, the explorers usually realize that they are in serious danger and that they need to get out of the cave as quickly as possible. But when they turn back to search for the entrance, they can't find it anywhere. It's as if the cave itself is trying to trap them forever. In fact, the cave seems to change and shift with every step the explorers take. Passages open up and close before their eyes, and the walls seem to whisper secrets in a language they can't understand. The explorers are now completely lost and utterly terrified. They try to call out for help, but their voices echo back at them, mocking their fear. They stumble around in the darkness, desperate to find the entrance, but it seems like a mirage just beyond their grasp. The air grows colder, and the silence is broken only by the sound of their own ragged breathing. At this point, the explorers are at their wits' end. They have been trapped in the cave for hours, and their hope of escape is fading fast. Suddenly, one of the explorers stumbles and falls to his knees. He looks up at the others with wild eyes and a panicked expression on his face. "I see them," he whispers, his voice shaking. "I can hear them." The others look at him, confused and scared. Who's there?" But before he can answer, the darkness around them seems to stir. There is a rustling sound, like leaves skittering across the ground, and then they see them. The Jinnis are here. The explorers scream and try to run, but it's too late. The Jinnis are upon them, their laughter echoing through the caverns. They reach out with their icy fingers and drag the explorers deeper into the cave. The explorers struggle and fight back, but it's no use. The Jinnis are too strong for them. They vanish into the darkness, their screams echoing through the cave. The Jinnis have claimed another victim. Are you scared to visit the Moqattam Hills after hearing this story? Let me know in the comments below. Now let me show you some pictures where the genies make all people look like real Egyptians. Have fun.